Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to this special lecture on RBI Assistant exam. The RBI Assistant Phase 1 exam is just around the corner. In another 2 weeks or so, you would be sitting for the first round of RBI Assistant exam. And we have already done a session on how to prepare for RBI Assistant exam a couple of weeks back. Hope you are following it and making the most out of your time, because we had less time and we have to do a lot of stuff for this exam. So in that particular session, I had detailed how you should be approaching it. So hope you are doing that, because if you are doing that, you are already much more prepared than what your competition would be at this stage, right? So let's therefore have more competitive advantage in the next few days so that no one can beat us. So what is our target today? Our target is simple, as I have mentioned: 3 minutes, 10 questions. Yes, my friends, that is the agenda. So which 10 questions of English can be done in 3 minutes? The fill in the blanks and the cloze test questions. FIB means fill in the blanks and the cloze test questions. So what we are going to do today as a part of the agenda is we are going to take previous year questions. So there are memory based questions that are available on the net for previous year questions from the previous year papers. So we have taken 10 questions, 5 from fill in the blank and 5 from cloze test. So normally what we are seeing that around 1/3 of the paper is in English is from these two types of questions, fill in the blanks and cloze test. Obviously that can change, that can increase, that can decrease this year, but if we go by what happened in the last years, around 1/3, 10 out of 30 questions of English were from fill in the blanks and cloze test. Okay. So if we are able to do these 10 questions in 3 minutes, that is going to give us an edge over others? Yes or no? See, all of these questions are easy. They can be done and they can be done fast. But what if that fast of others is something which is not fast for us? So they are doing it in 5-6 minutes, we are doing it in 3 minutes, then we get that extra time, no? Right? So there is no doubt that given the time, you all would do these questions correctly, the FIB and the cloze test, because what I went through the questions, they were pretty simple questions, could have been done very easily. But can you do it in 3 minutes? That's the question, and that's what we are going to do today. That's what I'm going to show you today. So before I embark on the journey of solving the actual questions, what I'll do is, what would be the process by which I would be doing that, and you should follow the same process in your exam so that you can maximize your potential of scoring in a limited period of time in these kind of questions. Okay. So the first thing that you do is read the sentence. Read the sentence and identify the tone and the context of the sentence. And obviously the blank is inside the sentence. So the sentence containing the blank, you are reading it and you are identifying what is the tone and the context of the sentence. And this would happen simultaneously. It's not that you would read it and then identify the tone and context. No. This would happen simultaneously. And then match the grammar and the meaning of the options. Now you directly move on to the options. There you would match the grammar and the meaning of the options for the blank, and you will eliminate options. So if it does not fit grammatically, eliminate. If it does not fit contextually, eliminate. That's the way you would do it. The moment you are going through the option, you are also doing simultaneously the elimination job too. And finally you would mark the answer. The one that is not eliminated, that is your answer. Clear? Okay. So that's the way you are going to take this 10 questions. So what I will do is that I would give you the questions and you would pause the lecture for 1.5 minutes. For example, FIB, there are 5 questions Pause it for 1.5 minutes and try out all the questions. See whether you are able to do it within 1 minute or so. Because you would see that though I'm saying 3 minutes, 3 minutes is the maximum time you should take. You should be done within 2 to 2.5 minutes, and I will show that to you. So try it to do those 5 questions within 1.5 minutes, and then when I explain it, you would understand that whether you had been correct or wrong and how your approach should be modified accordingly. Okay, so let me move out of the screen. We would start with the questions, but before that, let me also tell you something. In Cloze test, for example, so this was FIB. Okay, in FIB, you would read the sentence and identify the tone and context and match the grammar and mark the answer. So the same thing would also happen in Cloze test. But in Cloze test, we will move blank by blank. What is Cloze test? There is a paragraph, and in that paragraph, you are to there will be blanks at 4 or 5 places. You'll have to fill the blanks. Now, Cloze test is a longer paragraph, so there would be some sentences which will have blanks, and there will be some sentences which would not have blanks. Okay. So in Cloze test, move blank by blank. You can read the following line to get a better idea of the context, but do not read the full passage at one go. So this is important. What would be the difference between fill in the blanks and Cloze test methodology? The methodology would differ in this way, that here I am reading the full sentence. Here also I will read the full sentences, but I will not read the full para. Full para I will not read. Why? Because I would go on blank to blank. So I will read the following sentence of the blank, the sentence that contains the blank, to have a better idea, but I would not go beyond that. I'll answer on the basis of that. Okay, right? So I'll show that to you. Now I am going to give you the questions, question number 1 to 5. Pause the lecture for 1.5 minutes and answer the questions. Done? Chalo. Let me do these questions for you. Owl is standing on the tree, blank at the wall. So it's doing something, so let's see. Barking at the wall, owl does not bark, and it doesn't make sense. Also, sleeping at the wall doesn't make contextual sense. Dancing at the wall again makes no sense. Looking at the wall makes sense. You look at the wall, you look at something. Hawk does not make grammatical sense. So now we are left with only one, and that is looking. So my answer in this case would be which one? D. D would be my answer. So if you had marked D, you are correct. Chalo, next. Rahul saw a monkey plucking blackberries from the tree and blank them into the river. So let's see, drop them into the river. Here there is one thing that we need to understand, and that is what Rahul saw a monkey plucking blackberries from the tree and blank them into the river. So the monkey is doing something. So one job of the monkey is in ing form, right? One job of the monkey is in verb plus ing form. So another job of the monkey would also be in verb plus ing form. Parallelism you remember. Okay, so two similar type of actions happening in a sentence would be in the same form. So therefore we will have to look at those options which are ing. So drop is eliminated. Achha, eating does not make contextual sense. Dropping makes sense because you drop blackberries into the river, that makes sense. Dropping blackberries into the river. Asking does not make contextual sense. Divides does not make neither grammatical nor contextual sense. So the only option that can be your answer is C. So the second question, your answer would be C. Now, honeybees blank a sugary juice called nectar from the blossom by sucking it out with their tongues. So honeybees is plural. So here we will have to have a verb, and that verb would be plural verb. So honeybee collects, eliminated. Honeybee protecting does not make sense. Continuous tense does not make sense here. Honeybees collect makes sense, maybe. Washes, grammatically wrong. Wets, grammatically wrong, even contextually wrong, but grammatically also wrong. So only collect can come in here because that's the only plural verb. So C would be the answer in this case. Okay? Again 15 to 20 seconds and you are done. Next. Sunidhi has been blank. So if there has been, there has to be ing. I'll just read a little further to understand. For the government jobs for 3 years. Okay. So has been study, wrong grammar. Has been prepare, wrong grammar. Has been prepared, wrong usage in this case. Has been preparing would be the one that would be correct. Has been successful is also contextually wrong. So you are having D as the answer. Clear? Next. The head of the monkey had been blank away with the rifle. When we are talking about rifle, it would be shooting the monkey and the head would be ripped off or blown off, something like that. I don't need to understand what exactly would come in here. I'll have to have an idea that what this sentence is saying. This sentence is saying that the head of the monkey has suffered some kind of damage. So what would go in there? Had been, blows, wrong grammar, had been blown away with the rifle. Makes sense contextually, also grammatically. Had been blew, wrong grammar. Had been sharp, wrong grammar. Had been created, wrong context. So therefore you have only B as the answer, right? So see, when we look at this paper, especially the paper that came last time, the time that you take to do these questions would be very less, but you'll have to be very focused while you are answering these questions. When you are in a question, even if it is for 15 seconds, that 15 seconds you should be clearly focused towards that particular question only. Don't think about what is happening to other question. Don't think about how many questions are left, because then in these such kind of papers, the mistakes would be very grave for you, right? Okay. Now, cloze test, the same thing, 1.5 minutes. You take and do these 5 questions. Done? Okay, let me now read this. Once there was a very good little girl who lived with her parents in a small bamboo house. One day, she was blank over a basket of paddy drying in the sun in front of her house when a large golden crow flew up and ate every grain. Okay. So this is the blank. I read the whole sentence that was with the blank, because then only we will understand the context of the blank in cloze test. So there was a girl and her food was taken away by a crow. Okay. So which of the options would come? Running. One day she was running, no. Falling, no. Waiting over a basket, maybe. Watching over a basket. So between waiting and watching, watching makes more sense, isn't it? So waiting is eliminated. Between waiting and watching, jogging over a basket makes no contextual sense. So only D can be the answer in this case. So question number C, D would be the answer. Clear? Okay. Now, next one. Now there is something that we need to understand. Now the whole para here does not have any blank associated with it. Does not have any blank. So therefore, when we look at this para, do we need to read them? From the contextual point of view, to understand what the girl is now doing or the crow is now doing, you will have to have an idea about it. But actually, all the lines does not need to be read in completeness. In this particular case, why so? Because there is no blank whatsoever in here. Okay. To have an idea of the paragraph, you do not need to read the whole paragraph, second paragraph. So, oh dear, dear, cried the little girl, I'll go hungry now. The golden crow felt sorry, so the crow also felt sorry. And next day, little girl walked into the forest. The crow was waiting for her. And do you want a ladder of gold or silver? He asked. A wooden one, thank you, the little girl said, for she has never seen ladders of gold and silver before. But the crow let down a ladder of gold. So we got an idea. So, and this would take hardly 10 seconds. Now, when she blanked the nest, the crow offered her a drink of sweet juice. So now let's see the options. Below the nest, no. Dried the nest, no. Reached the nest, maybe. Dived the nest, no. Does not make contextual sense. Cried the nest does not make any contextual sense whatsoever. So only reached the nest makes sense because the girl was going towards the nest. Okay. So question number 7, C would be the answer. Clear? Okay. Now next. Then again the crow asks a similar question. Would you like it from a gold cup or a silver cup or a clay cup? A clay cup, thank you. Girl said she has never seen cups of gold and silver. But the crow gave her in the cup of gold. The crow then blank her plate of rice cakes. Would you like it on a gold plate, a silver plate and clay plate? Now, I'll just go to question number 8, options. The crow then talked her plate. No, doesn't make sense. Offered her plate of rice cakes. Maybe. Declared does not make contextual sense. Damaged does not make contextual sense. Called does not make contextual sense. So only B can be the answer for question number 8. Clear? Okay. Now next, see, I am explaining this to you with with all the explanation, with all the reading, when you would do it, how much time would each blank take? Hardly 20 seconds or so, right? 1.5 minutes. The last 5 questions would have taken you less than 1.5 minutes. This would take you at the most 1.5 minutes. So let's see. Finally, the crow showed her 3 bags, big, medium, small. The crow blanked that she take the big bag and she came home with it. When she and her parents opened it, it was full of rubies. Right. So the crow did what? Insisted, maybe. Insisted can come. Refused, no. Burned, no. Surrounded, no. Trim, no. Trim is wrong grammar also. So therefore, you can have only one option correct here, and that is A. Only one option correct. And then the last 2 lines. This is your payment, he said. Please choose a bag. Meanwhile, their next door neighbors heard the story and their daughter was made to sit in front of the house to watch over a handful of paddy. The golden crow ate up the paddy and the girl demanded payment. So, let's see. Speedy paddy doesn't make sense. Then deleted paddy doesn't make sense. Then frying paddy doesn't make sense. Then drying paddy, yes, drying paddy makes sense. Drying paddy is what the earlier girl was also drying paddy, and dusting paddy also doesn't make sense. So only D can be the answer in this case, only D. So you have all your answers. Question number 6 D, question number 7 C, question number 8 B, question number 9 A, and question number 10 D. So tell me, was it not possible for you to do these 10 questions in 3 minutes? Let's say, if you had taken this paper in the previous year, these 10 questions could have been done in 3 minutes. You are left with another 20 questions, 10 of RC and another 10 of grammar plus, word replacement. That was the combination of question that was there in previous year. So out for these 20 questions, you have 17 minutes time. So that's enough, na? You can do those 20 questions in 17 minutes. Even that grammar and the word replacement would take hardly 4 to 5 minutes. So you are left with 12 minutes of time for 10 questions of RC. Is it doable? It is definitely doable. So if you do not waste time here, if you do these questions of FIB and close states with accuracy and with a lot of speed, super fast and super accurate, then you are making your chances greater for the overall paper also. So what would be good scores? You see, 9 to 10 would be very good scores, 9 or 10. Okay, 9 correct or 10 correct, very good scores. Keep it up. That's the way you should do. Obviously within the 3 minutes of time that I told you to give to this particular set of questions. 8, good score. 8, good score, no doubt about it. 7, average score. You should target to get it into that 9 to 10, right? Even if it is 8 is okay, but it's better that you get into the 9 to 10 wala category, because you could have scored 10 out of 10 in this, or at least 9 out of 10 in this, and less than 7, my dear friends, you need to focus while reading. It is definitely happening that for any reason, right? Whether for the reason of you trying to do it fast, or your concentration is wavering, you are not focusing on what you are reading, because if you do not focus, you would get it wrong. In these 10 questions, everyone should target to get that 9 to 10 that I am telling you, right? So if you're not getting it, then obviously there is a lack of focus that is making that not happen for you, right? Don't do that, okay? Right? So 10 questions, 3 minutes is one thing that we can do in these kinds of paper. Now, again, having said that, let me tell you another thing, that you guys should not assume that the paper would be like the previous years. I have told you in the previous lecture also, in the one where I had told you the strategies to study, that you should be ready for everything. Okay, yes, last year it was easy, this year it might be tough, right? This year the questions might be challenging. So the concepts that we learned here would be helpful to you this year also, no doubt about it. But if the question's nature changes, it is more challenging, then don't panic. Just take it the way you would take it. So that would be all for today. If you guys think that these kind of lectures would be helpful for you, please put in the comment section which kind of lectures or lectures on which topic you would want more. Then we will try to get them to you too. especially on RBI Assistant exam or any other exam that is upcoming. Okay, put it in the comment section. We would definitely try and help you with it too. Okay, so let's call it a day. Thank you very much and all the best.